Hi, I'm Jed Herne, author of the upcoming fantasy novella Fires of the Dead, and this is Daily Writing Advice. Writer's block. Out of all the kind of bits of advice surrounding writing out there, and again, this is just one man's opinion on it, I think writing block is the biggest bit of BS. That's a really hard bit of alliteration there. Is the biggest BS that I've heard. And the reason for this is really well summed up by Seth Godin, who's one of my favorite non-fiction kind of business authors. And he says this: can you think of other professions where they just don't have this idea of a block? For example, think about a plumber. Is there such a thing as plumber's block? No. They show up and they get the job done. And sure, there might be a blockage that the plumber is unblocking, but they don't have a kind of creative existential crises before doing a job, right? Either you can do it or you can't, and most of the time you can do it, it's just going to take time. So why do writers think they're special? Sure, you can maybe say that one profession is more creative than the other, but I think that it's actually an excuse, because I don't really believe in the idea of writer's block, and it's never really been something that I've experienced. So why I think it's a popular myth is because it kind of allows you to shift the responsibility away from yourself and to give you an excuse for not producing work. Because the thing is, there's a difference between not feeling like you can write and not feeling like you can write good stuff. And I would argue that people who have writer's block are actually in that second category. They think that they can't write good stuff, and therefore they're like, I cannot write. But particularly in my experience, I've found that it really doesn't matter what you're writing. It's about getting the bad stuff out there so that eventually, after doing it for a couple of years or whatever, you can maybe start to produce things that are good. So next time you're experiencing writer's block, just ignore it. Because really it's just a completely mental thing that, in my mind, is all made up. Because it doesn't matter if anyone sees your writing. It doesn't matter if you're producing good writing. Just write. And I know that can be difficult if you feel like you don't have any inspiration or whatever. But again, that's just resistance talking. That's just the resistance trying to stop you from doing what matters. So just put stuff that's down, even if it's bad, especially if it's bad, because it's only through getting through that bad stuff that you will actually start writing good things. So I don't think there is such a thing as writer's block. I think there is the fear of writing because you think you're going to write bad stuff. But the only way to get through that is to write the bad stuff, and then eventually it'll become good. So thanks for listening to this episode. If you had any thoughts on this, be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'll see you next time.